Ministry, and we're still talking about staying in the light. You know, we have these inspirations that come to us, and always under a theme. The theme changes from time to time, but as long as we have this theme, we have to stick with it, and everything always falls under that theme. Now, a lot of paganism is taking place in America these days. People don't know what paganism is. Look it up. Look it up. It's done under the auspices of religion nowadays. So be careful because this energy out here really is, I guess you can call it satanic. And I used to wonder why, ever since I can remember, those days come around. I want to protect myself. I want to shield myself. You know, this is not a time to be around people who are in paganism. This is not that time. And I'm gonna tell you how you can identify paganists. They are very personal, personalism. Now, don't get paganism mixed up with indigenous practices and things we had before religion. No, paganism is not based on any type of ordered religion. It's based on low level vibrations. When a person is personal, when you see people stuck on a person, you, you don't want to be around that type of energy. That's called dumb down, and they're trying to dumb you down because that's the lowest vibration is thinking on a personal level. We're like ants. It's not about you. It's not about a person. This is what my father taught me. It's always about the idea. So when people never talks about an idea, but they always focus on a person, that is so evil. That is so evil. How can one person be so significant in your mind? That's why I take issue when they say my personal. When you start something off with my personal, you justifying yourself to say the hell with everybody else. That's what you're saying. When you say my personal, you're saying I don't care nothing about what you want to do as far as unity. Hey, thank you for coming in. I'm not about unity. I'm about self-interest. That's what personalism is. And I'm so thankful I received these instructions as a youth, or at least as a budding adult, that I can recognize them when I see them and to avoid them. That's how you want to identify them. So that doesn't mean you close yourself off and become a hermit. You can still listen to people, you can listen to them, but don't let them in. In other words, you listen to it with yourself outside of what they're saying because you're not a part of them. You're listening for certain key words that identify. People are going to tell you who they are. They're going to tell you who they are. All you have to do is listen and know what you are listening to. So I'm giving y'all a hint, a big hint right now. When people are stuck on a person, an individual, they are very low vibrating people. Now, you can have a person to inspire you that you go to for reinforced energy. I'm not talking about that. This is always a negative focus. It's something to always bring you back to on a negative vibration because the person they're focusing on is never something positive. So that shows you something wrong with people like that. Why would you focus on negativity so much that you become obsessed with it. Go read the book by Spirio. What's the name of that book? It'll come to me in a minute. Neurotic, neurotic, neurotic. In other words, when someone says somebody is crazy, it means they fall into certain categories. Neurotic styles. Yeah, that's the book, Neurotic Styles by Spirio. So when people fall in certain categories, you identify them as being have a neurotic disorder. Obsessive compulsion is one. There's 4 or 5 of them. Go look them up yourself. I'm not going to go over them here. Plus, I don't have my notes with me. I'm just going off what I know. But you have to know how to identify certain personality traits just to know who to stay away from. And I mean away from as far as not letting their thoughts infiltrate your mind. That's when you become strong. When you can listen to somebody in passing, because you're not going to become stuck as they are stuck. But that's the purpose of their propaganda, is to get you stuck on a person. So always look at these people, listen to them at a distance. It's like when you hear them, visualize an echo chamber. They're so far away from your thinking that they can never penetrate the thoughts you have. Hey, what's going on? Who's this in the chat? You know, every time somebody come in, I gotta give heads up to, because it's not always courage to come on and just speak to somebody. That takes a lot of courage, especially somebody you never know. You don't know if they're gonna accept you or curse you out or whatever. But there's something that vibrates with that person that's in you. That's why you come on and speak. Because you say, okay, I can identify with that vibration. So that's who you want to listen to in this day and time. Listen to everybody, but don't let everybody in to your personal space, which is your mind. Because people are not there to inspire you. There are more people out there to take you out, to dumb you down. Because a person who do not want to elevate themselves do not want to see others elevate themselves. That's how low vibrating they are. They just can't let you be who you want to be. No, they're saying if you're not like me, something wrong with you. Now, is that healthy or what? No, we want to let people be who they want to be, because we always focus on the idea. We don't get stuck on a person. We never get stuck on a personal level with anybody. But if you like the ideas that come from that person, that's what you need to think about and research and focus on. Okay, anybody else want to something to say? I got to pause here. When I pause, that's when you can come in and ask a question. Because people ask questions, I be trying to get a point across. I'm not going to stop my line of thinking to answer your question. That's a disservice to you, because I'm brought here to bring some specific information. So only after that I bring that information to you, then I open myself to receive what you have. So the other idea I want to share is that people, you need to be nationalistic in your thoughts. I'm talking to my tribes and my clans out there, the melanated people, because there's a mindset that's trying to promote the idea that you don't belong here. Can you believe that? The people who immigrated here, who are only second or third generations of immigrants, are telling you, why don't you go to a place where you're more happier? Why don't you go to South America? Why don't you go to Africa? What? 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 We have more roots in America than you ever could. I'm gonna tell you how you can tell the owners of a land. The owners of a land are always going to speak up for what's right. They're the vanguards. They're the people who want to protect the vibrations of truth. Now, who have done that more than the Moors here? I'm going to say Moors because that's a name that identifies you in history of who you are. And stop using these names like this screen. What color is the screen? Okay, you can say black. But can a people be really, can you call a person with a history of ancestry and roots in a land or soil? Does a color identify that person? No. So you got to call people who they are. There's no such thing as white America because Noah Webster said America means copper colored races. So if you come to America and you're not copper colored, you are who your ancestors are. English, French, German, Polish, Czechoslovakian, all these European nations, they flock to America. Immigrants. And we built it, they came and began to rule it after killing us off. Now, this is not my story. This is history. So if you talk about anyone to immigrant, it's definitely not us because we was always here. We're not going to immigrate anywhere. What? I mean, people are saying that with conviction. They used to back in the 50s and 60s. They would just come out and say, "Go back to Africa." And we have no roots in Africa. Now they're saying, "Why don't you go somewhere where you can be at peace? Why don't you go to Latin America? Why don't you go to Mexico? Why don't you go? What you mean, me go? I'm part of this land more than you ever will be. You're a sicko." And people, if you leave this country, I'm talking about my brothers and sisters. If you let somebody chase you out this country, then you're jumping out the frying pan into the fire. Because you got a bad rap all over. This man made sure wherever you go, he's going to meet you there with the same mindset that he's been propagandizing hundreds of years. He put that out everywhere. So you got to deal with the root. We're not cowards. We're not running anywhere. We got to destroy the beast, which is ignorance and wrongdoing. That's the beast. And first, you got to destroy them in yourself before looking outside of you. Destroy it in yourself. And the key today I'm speaking of is personalism. Personalism is a beast. Get rid of it, people. You're bigger than that. You're not like these people who are stuck on a person. Don't follow these people. Matter of fact, don't follow nobody. Don't follow me. Follow the God in you. If you're going to follow anybody, follow yourself. How you out here to the tribe? Peace to the clans.